Pero punong-puno na yung mga state universities, especially after the pandemic. And then kung titignan mo yung unit cost, mababa na talaga eh. So for me, Mr. Chairman, the right amendment is really paano tayo bumalik sa tamang market prices of education and bigyan ng tamang pondo yung state universities. So 2 amendments sa state universities. That's one. And I leave it up to you where, but I think you know better than me. Yep. Yung sinasabi ko nga yung per unit, katulad sa PUP, napakababa na talaga. The second one is yung facilities nila. In the same manner that we have the Rojas Law, and we're now going to restart yung pagbibigay ng school buildings, and in the same manner that I've proposed na sana lagyan natin ng Camp Development Fund, sana may infrastructure fund yung state universities, pero basta't makapagbigay ng master plan o master development plan, may allotment for each and every one. Kasi kung hindi, nangyayari, kanya-kanyang lakad, kanya-kanyang lapit sa governor, sa foreign funding, sa congressman, sa senador. So, yes, for example, myself, over the years, and even this year, I might propose some amendments sa DPWH State U or diretso na sa State U. Pero kung may development fund for them, whether it's 10, 20, 5 billion, ang point ko lang, Mr. President, if we can start an amount, so let's say I say dapat 25B kasi may higit 100. But you say there's no fiscal space. Okay, so be it. Let's start with 2.5B. Let's start with 1B. And if it has to be, 500 million sa rural, 500 million dun sa pinakamarami, or kaya pwedeng, sino ba ang, basta't meron tayong rating system na reliable, na maganda, o if you meet these requirements, makakakuha ka sa development fund. I'm talking about an infrastructure development fund nung mga, and also for equipment, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And yung mga recommendations po ni Senator Kiko, Senator JV, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Pia, na magdagdag po ng pondo sa mga SUCs ho natin na ilagay naman ho natin sa committee report.
And to be fair, yung iba are more progressive than others.
Yes.
So meron na silang not only a master plan program of work, but maganda din kasing training sa lahat. More than 100 state U's and several campuses na parang, ang CHED may 5 billion development fund. Pero ito requirement. May master plan kayo, may ganito, may program of work. So nag-aagawan ka sa pag-apply nung pondo na yon, diba? Kasi kung hindi, it really also depends on sino nalalapitan mo, di ba? Imagine if the chairman of the Committee on Finance was also the chairperson of CHED sa committee. Siyempre, may natural bias ka doon, di ba? The same manner kung DOH ang hawak mo. The last item sa OFWs natin, sa Department of Migrant Workers, no? Katulad ng pag-usapan po during the committee level, a big part of their job is diplomacy. Or to put it straightforward is PR. Diba yung the Middle Eastern countries, they love us. They love Filipinos. You talk about Bahrain, Qatar, talk about Saudi Arabia, diba? And katulad ngayon yung kafala system, diba? Finally, tinapos nila. But it takes a little bit of puhunan or capital or seed money. So an amount between 25 to 50 million would be a big help. I think Senator Villanueva has more exhaustive amendments sa TESDA and sa migrant workers, no. So the rest, as I said, butin tayo hanggang bukas kung babasahin ko isa-isa. I wrote a letter to the committee, and then aside from that, there's 1 or 2 points lang sa 6 departments. So whatever we can consider, Mr. President, we would appreciate. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Minority Leader, and your points are very well taken, at maraming salamat sa mga suggestions and interventions. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to propose these amendments is Senator Joel, the Deputy Minority Floor Leader, Senator Joel Villanueva. After which, Mr. President, after which we can do it alphabetical already, with the permission of the body.
Thank
So
you.
Senator Joel was recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, our distinguished majority leader. Mr. President, magandang hapon po at syempre, unahin ko pong batiin ang ating masipag at napaka-innovative na chairman ng Senate Committee on Finance. Wala hong naiinggit sa kanyang trabaho, lalo na sa mga panahon na ito. Mr. President, we'd like to underscore that these amendments that we wanted to introduce are based on the letters also submitted by various government agencies, most of which, Mr. President, we were able to discuss during the committee hearings, budget briefings, and the interpellations that this representation intervened during the period of interpellations, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I go first with the Department of DICT, Mr. President? I remember it was the good chairperson who sponsored the budget of the Department of Information and Communication Technology. This representation would again reiterate the proposal that this representation made during the interpellations, that we increase the budget for cybercrime prevention, investigation, and the coordination program. The letter from DICT that we received, Mr. President, is an addition of 115,996,000, and this comprised of 107.596 million in the MOOE and 8.4 million in capital outlays. Mr. President, let me point out the justification, and this was thoroughly discussed during the interpellation of this representation. It restores the budget of cybercrime prevention, investigation, and coordination program, particularly po, Ginoong Pangulo, yung components covering the formulation, coordination, monitoring of cybercrime plans and policies, as it was already included in the GAB, Mr. President. But this funding, Mr. President, is crucial to ensure that the CICC has the resources it needs to carry out its mandate effectively and to significantly strengthen the nation's ability to prevent, detect, and respond to cybercrimes and cyber threats. Mr. President, during the interpellations, the distinguished sponsor, Senator Gatchalian, clarified that during the time they had the leadership gap, Mr. President, which hindered major procurement activities and project implementation na naka-apekto po dun sa utilization of the 2025 budget, kaya po na-decrease yung proposal for 2026 budget. Pero during the interpellations, Mr. President, the CICC made mention through the chairperson, Senator Gatchalian, that it has regained momentum and was able to address these pending requirements at na-strengthen na po nila yung internal processes nila to enhance its absorptive capacity. And so, today, Mr. President, at this juncture, may I respectfully move that we increase the budget of cybercrime prevention, investigation, and coordination program based on the letter that this representation also forwarded to the distinguished sponsors.
Thank you, Mr.
So moved.
Mr. President. Thank you. Indeed, we received the letter and the justification in this letter, and indeed also that we had a very thorough discussion during the plenary debates about this necessity of ramping up or bolstering our capability in terms of addressing cybercrime and cybersecurity. So we will consider your proposals, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, distinguished sponsor. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, next is the Department of Labor and Employment. Again, I'm glad that the chairperson was the one defending the budget, and during the interpellations, also, Mr. President, we'd like to again state for the record the commitment given to us during the period of interpellations that we need really to increase the budget for job search assistance. Mr. President, the Department of Labor gave us a Mas malaki, no? Mas malaki po yung hiningi nila, but we were looking at the absorptive capacity, Mr. President, and we feel that 60.969 million would be a good number to increase the budget for job search assistance. The justification, Mr. President, just to put on record, is that this is the department's job fair program, Mr. President. In fact, we discussed this thoroughly. It's a key initiative under the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, and it expands the access to employment by offering a wide range of opportunities, both full-time and part-time jobs, as well as internships and apprenticeships to meet the diverse needs and aspirations of Filipino job seekers. This is also, Mr. President, to put on record, pursuant also to the directive of the Office of the President, that the Department of Labor and Employment would conduct a monthly, at least monthly job fairs starting March of 2025. So, Mr. President, I think this is a very important amendment that the chairman also agreed with this representation, and we'll leave the amount, Mr. President, but again, the Department of Labor and Employment together with our office agreed, Mr. President, that 60 million is a decent amount, Mr. President.
Tama kayo,
So move, Mr. President.
Tama kayo, Mr. President. And I remember during the plenary debates, there was also this concern about a slowdown in construction, in the construction industry. And it might affect 100,000 construction workers.
Yes.
I think His Honor was the one who brought that up. So this bodes well again to what's happening right now, and we will consider His Honor's proposal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, distinguished colleague. Mr. President, let me go to my most favorite agency, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. Again, let me put on record that this representation is elated and excited when I found out that the chairman of EDCOM2, the first chairperson, Senator Win Gatchalian, would defend the budget of TESDA. And during the interpellations of this representation, we also look at the proposal to increase the budget for promotion, development, and implementation of quality technical education and skills development programs in TESDA Central Office. The proposal of this representation is to increase it by 70 million, allocate, Mr. President, an amount of between 50 to 70 million, Mr. President, to support TESDA's ongoing digital transformation efforts. Particularly po, Ginoong Pangulo, yung activities identified in its submission to strengthen technology-driven training, assessment, and program development. Kasi hindi po nakasama yung ilan sa mga tinutukoy natin na, for example, development of AI-assisted tools for course and curriculum creation, yung digital platforms po for emerging technology skills training, nabanggit po ng ating chairperson, yung gig economy. Ang dami ng kailangan na po pwedeng gawin. Yung enhanced labor market analytics to better align yung TVET offerings with, of course, the industry demand. Napag-usapan din po natin during the interpellations na dapat demand-driven, industry-driven. And this initiative, Mr. President, that we are introducing will help modernize the agency, the TESDA systems, by improving the speed of the quality training regulation updates. Kasi in the world of AI and robotics, alam natin, Mr. President, na mabilis magbago yung mga trade disciplines, Mr. President. Kailangan talagang na-update natin yung training regulation. So this is the proposal of this representation to allocate funds for quality technical education and skills development programs para ma-promote at ma-develop po itong mga training regulations na to. Ay, so Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Senator Joel, and alam ko ito yung pinaka-paborito niyong ahensya. At alam ko hindi niyo pinapabayaan ho to, so we will also consider this